Greetings, Entropians, and hopefully future Entropians. Luri, Uncle Mo, Nightshade here, coming at you from the mothership Bismarck. Getting ready to hop into the pilot seat and do some piloting of this big sucker tonight. I guess I want to start by saying it's kind of alarming to me how many people that play the game really don't understand the mechanics of space. Right now there are 5 planetary partners. Let me pull up the map here, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And in order to travel to the different planets, you have to travel through space, and this is all of PvP area. And in this area, you can be looted if you have stackable items. So all the mining things, loot that you get, all the hunting loot that you get, crafting items, certain ones of those. If you get shot down in space, you will be looted if you're carrying any of these items. So how do players get around that if they want to carry these items and further the economy? Well, the safest way to do it is by warp traveling. And there's a couple ships you can do. The one I'm on right now is a mothership, the biggest ship in the game. When they first came out, they cost about $8,000 US or 80,000 PED. They are not cheap. And in fact, on top of that, you have to add what's called structural integrity by adding certain ores, which increases the armor factor of the ship, which can effectively double the cost of the ship even then. You'll notice the ship has 4 sort of sections to it: command center, reactor, hangar, and propulsion. And you'll see these are health bars here. Okay, whenever a ship takes damage, these health bars go down, and what's going to happen is if any of these get to 0, the ship will explode. So the idea in game is basically what you want to do if you're traveling from planet to planet and you want to do it safely. You can purchase a ride on a mothership. The one I'm on, again, is the Bismarck. You can go to the website www.efa.ms. Now, on this website, www.efa.ms, I believe it was Creed put together an excellent video that will give you a tour of a mothership, tour of a privateer, and show you where all the little sections are and how to sort of navigate about. All right. So I'm not going to redo that content, but you got to watch that video in order to kind of get the layout of the ship and how that works. It'll also give you some excellent information on how space traveling works, the fees associated with it. So definitely watch it. What I'm going to feature for you tonight is called a little space skilling. So what we do here on the Bismarck, we have an excellent community, which I invite you to join. Again, if you go to www.efa.ms and if you install what's called Mumble, which is like TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, maybe Roger Wilco you've heard of. It's a voice chat client. If you install that and click on the link on there, you can join us in chat, and you can chat with me or Sakuba, the owner of the ship, any number of players that have subscriptions. We've all purchased subscriptions to the Bismarck, and one of the benefits of a subscription is that we can come out and do what's called skill repairing. So the basics of this is I'm going to take this ship out here. You notice here's Planet Arcadia, here's the ship, and what we see here is the Arcadian training grounds. Now this portion of space, well, let's start with this one, Arcadia Space Station. This is a safe area, this blue circle. Can't be attacked in here, all right? So what's going to happen is we're going to go out to here into the PvP area, and there's a bunch of space mobs out here, okay? So a lot of people hunt those. What we're going to do is use them to skill up. So I'm going to just hop into the pilot seat and kind of show you the technique of that. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Right now on each station I've got 1 or 2 good buddies. They all have repair tools. Everybody purchases these vehicle repair tools. Okay? And they consume a product called welding wire. And that's how you will repair the ship when it takes damage. So the idea is if you're getting attacked, you want to out-repair your attackers. In this case, we're going to go after some mobs. And the benefit of this is, I just clicked on this pilot seat here. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. And it takes a little while to load. The better your video card is, the faster it'll load. And here we are. All right, we're now in control of an $8,000, basically a large dick in space is what it is. It's great. So what I'm going to do here is set a waypoint to one of the corners and go ahead and head for that. Tsukuba is one of the only motherships that will do some training in the Arcadian ground. So if you're an Arcadian resident like I am, I spend a lot of time here, then a subscription on the Bismarck might be ideal for you. And you'll learn how to pilot this thing real quick. I'm just sort of right-clicking and then moving the mouse, and that'll move the ship around. All right. Oops. And I did set a waypoint in space there. If you're ever not sure if the ship is level, there's a great icon you can pull out, and it's called Align Horizontal. And that'll get you to the horizontal axis, the Z-axis, so you can better navigate. All you have to do is just figure out your X and Y axis after that. As you can see, the ship is kind of vertical. And in fact, we're now pointing the other direction there. Alright, now that that portion's done, these things are pigs, they're kind of slow, but obviously if you stick in a warp device and warp around from planet to planet, you can get from planet to planet in a minute, which is really nice, very handy. Otherwise, if you use a quad interceptor ship, for instance, a flight from Arcadia to Calypso would run you about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so I'm taking the ship out now, and what I'm going to do is, essentially the basic technique is I'm going to get out and find some of these space mobs and just sort of aggro them. Alright, just let them get within proximity of the ship. Once they start shooting at me, I'm going to go find the next one, and then the next one. And I'm going to do that for a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to do what's called drown them, or drag them towards the space station where they'll be shot. Now what happens in the meantime is, while I'm dragging these mobs around and they're shooting me, I'm collecting skills, like piloting skills. And everybody that's repairing the ship up here are collecting very valuable skills like engineering skills. One of the main skills you want to get is called Blueprint Comprehension. That's a good place to start when you get level 10 in a skill. And that'll help out your crafting. If you have any desire to do any kind of crafting in the game, you're going to want to get that skill for starters. So we're going to head out here. I mean, this video might get a little tedious because the ship's just so darn slow. But I do want to show you the whole process, and we'll do a little talking in the meantime. Now, when you're flying around in space, you see these little triangles here. That's just let you know that there's a space mob there. So I'm going to start flying at that. And what I'm going to do is set another waypoint right there. The idea is I want to be able to fly from one waypoint to the next, drown mobs at the space station, and then repeat the process. Why do we drown mobs? After a while you're piloting, all the mobs that you're dragging along, and as they're shooting at you, they're simply going to stop giving you skills. Like if you're sweating in game, at some point the mobs are just going to stop giving you sweat. Same thing here. So we got that mob. Now we got to look for another one. Normally a bunch of triangles open up. As you can see, we're taking damage now, and immediately my team's jumping in place here. All these green numbers are the repairing. Okay, you can see the bars going down on the left. I'm going to kind of keep this map open here if I can. Let me put it to the medium size. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, ooh, I got some more orange triangles. So now I'm just going to navigate towards them. And these waypoints that I set here, they're just kind of a guideline. I mean, you don't have to, anywhere in this blue box you're going to have, you're going to find these mobs here. Now, the mob I just picked up, I'm currently outrunning. If you have the ship at full bore, you're going to outrun these mobs, and they're not going to be able to shoot at you. So at certain points you have to kind of let them catch up. If you really outrun them, they'll just de-aggro. So I want to let this guy kind of get back into shape here. He'll start shooting again here pretty soon. Come on. You can do it, little buddy. So the idea now is I'm going to be tapping the W button or whatever you selected for forward. Unfortunately, there's no way to select like a half velocity for the ship. That would be really nice. So when you're piloting, you just kind of have to keep tapping the button. As you can see now, I'm getting spacecraft pilot skills, spacecraft system skills. Good stuff to have as a pilot. Now the idea is, as you start collecting these, obviously you're going to start taking more damage, which is good, because that way your repairers can start generating skills as well. And I spot a couple close guys here, so we're going to go grab them. Like I said, I'm just gonna. This might turn into a little bit of a lengthy video. Hopefully, you'll see the basic process quick enough. But I just want to be able to do. I might not even go all the way to this waypoint here. I'll just try and collect a few mobs, get a nice pool going, and let you get a feel for how much damage a mothership can take. Come on. Yeah, see, now I'm outrunning these guys. I'm trying to catch up to these guys over here, and meanwhile I'm leaving these guys behind. So it's just a bit of a... You just got to get a feel for it. Now the good news is if you're starting to take too much damage, you can sort of put the pedal to the metal and let the mobs fall behind you, and you'll stop taking damage at that point. Also, if I hit the exit seat there, the mobs will stop firing as well. Even though they're within aggro range, they will cease fire at that point, which is kind of cool. So, alright, we've caught these guys. So we're going to do a nice slow turnaround. Every once in a while I'll hit that align horizontal button just to make sure that the direction I'm traveling is actually true. As you can see, when I'm flipping around here, and now I got to turn this around one more time. We're taking a little bit of damage. So yeah, the repair tools and welding wire, they do cost money. A lot of people craft them. I craft them. But all that will generate value skill-wise, and skills can be extracted and sold. So it is possible to sort of do this for profit. Right now, I'm new to the game, so I'm doing this to get to where I need to be, quite frankly. There's a mob up here. Let's go ahead and pick him up. Come on, guys. You can do it. So the good thing to have is more repairs and more mobs. The more you can do that, the faster you can skill up. But as you can see, the ship only goes so fast, and you gotta keep these guys within firing range. So it's only so fast you can go. It gets a little tedious. But right now, just driving. I'm not spending any ped. The amount of oil that the ship's using is negligible. Just to kind of go on impulse power here, the ship will use oil like a quad or any vehicle in game. They all consume oil. And interestingly enough, yeah, motherships consume very, very little oil. Their main consumption for fuel will be the warp drives, and they are very expensive. They are not cheap. The main ingredient for those are found primarily in space. They're called generic fuses, and that's the main component, the main expensive component in warp drives. So they're a little tough to find, and everybody that owns the ship with warp capability wants them. So they do have quite a bit of value. There's a mob down there. Let's go pick him up. You kind of hope to get a bit of a denser field, and that's one of the advantages here of skilling in Arcadia. A lot of motherships will skill in Calypso, and you know, some of the mobs will just get taken up. It'll be hard to scoop up a bunch of them. As you can see, I'm still generating skills: spacecraft system skills, spacecraft pilot skill, perception. Once those stop, I know that I have sort of used up all these mobs' skill gains. So at that point, we'll know it's time to drown them. And one of the things I do is I help. When we go from planet to planet where there are scheduled flights, again, www.efa.ms. You can see what scheduled flights are included with your subscription rate, which means you can travel pretty much 7 days a week. There's also some unscheduled flights that you can take advantage of. But yeah, again, very good video on there. If you're already playing and you haven't watched yet, and you're not sure about space travel, definitely give it a look-see. There's certain things you want to do when you're traveling space. First of all, you got to have all the content downloaded. As you can see, if you look at this navigator of the map, I've got a check mark here. That means I've got basically all the places downloaded. All right. When you log into the game, instead of hitting launch, if you hit tools, there'll be a menu there that can kind of show you how to download the rest of the maps. If you haven't done that already, do that first. That's the first step you want to do. I'm just sort of looking around here for mobs. As you can see, we're starting to build up a little more damage capability from these guys. I'm going to really let them catch up and see if they can start pumping out some damage. We need to get more, though. We'll get this little guy up here. So as you can see, I'm really just not going full throttle. You can kind of tell by the stuff that's coming out of there. I'm just sort of half doing it, half on, half off. Again, it's tedious, but you know, flying around like this, it is free skilling. So now, as I'm looking to the left here, I'm noticing that I'm not seeing very many skill gains anymore. But I also want to pick up a nice pile of mobs for our repair people, so I'm just going to keep dragging them along. Come on, guys. Yeah, we got to see what happens. Obviously, space is a huge focus for Entropia right now. There's definitely going to be expansions to it, and there's talk of adding more kinds of spaceships, like cargo ships and things like that. The actual rules of space may change. In fact, I think it's just a matter of when, really, not if. Right now, when you warp on a mothership, the reason it's safe is because what you can do is, if you're carrying stackables, you can just log off. And then, while the ship warps through the PvP zone, you're just riding on the ship while you're logged off, and you have no hope of getting looted. All right. There's a possibility that Mindark might change that rule and make you remain on ship if you want to travel. What'll happen at that point is each ship will want to have a repair crew and a structural integrity that's significant enough so that even if you do get attacked by pirates, you still have a chance to log off, and what the ship will do is just not warp at that point until whatever threat is nullified that's out there. So, but definitely going to be some expansions. I know there's more planet partners in the works. I'm not sure if we have a large enough player base to support them, but we'll see. Entropia is growing all the time. Oh yeah, let's take a nice little pound in here. So yeah, if you do get a subscription, you'll probably start off as a repairer. Probably not going to let you pilot the ship right away until we get to know you and you show up in the Mumble chat and we get to know you a little bit. Yeah, piloting the ship's definitely a possibility down the line. So you'll want to definitely start off repairing first and getting some basic skills in game. Really help out your engineering skills. Yeah, I've probably been outrunning most of these mobs here a little bit, so I need to do a little better job letting them keep up. You just got to get a feel for it. It's just going to take practice. You'd be surprised how low you can let the bars get before you actually blow up. The ship can definitely take a lot of damage. We're almost to the other waypoint here. Ooh, big critical. Ooh, little explosion there. As you can see, Hangar's starting to take a little damage. Now, if you lose just any one section of your ship, that's it. I know some of you probably want me to blow up the ship. I'm just not going to do that. Unfortunately, it's just too much of a pain in the butt to get all the repairers summoned back on and back to their stations. So I'm going to go ahead and avoid that tonight. But it is quite a sight. Again, if you're on board the ship and you do have stackables and a pirate blows you up, all of a sudden your body will appear in space, and you will be eligible to be looted at that time. So if you're traveling on a warp ship like this, definitely log off. Again, watch that video. I wish I know I keep repeating it, but it's frustrating when one of the jobs I'll do is I'll help Tsukuba sell tickets for this thing, and it's just amazing to me the number of people that have no idea what's going on with space travel. A lot of it does have to do with the language barrier. We do have a lot of folks from a lot of different nationalities playing the game. So that's all right. If you speak another language and you understand space travel, sure would be nice if you'd make some YouTube videos explaining how to do this. I wish I could translate for all you, but alright, so I'm going to catch up to this one. Oh yeah, now we're kind of turning into them. These guys are really going to start hammering us now. Oh yeah. Got a little ball there. I've seen 30 or 40 or 50 of these guys. SPI owns the ship, the Cronin mothership. They do really well. They'll get just a nice, huge mob ball going. Alright, I'm going to sort of stop here and see if I can get aligned with the space station. As you can see, I'm just right-clicking and adding waypoint, and that'll allow you to add a waypoint. If you do that on a space station, it'll put it right on there for you, so I just got to find the thing. There it is, way up there. So I'll slow down again and let the mobs catch up, give us a little bit of damage. Uh-oh. Okay, so now we're going to do the mob drowning process, and I know this has been kind of a longer video, but appreciate y'all hanging in there. As you can see, we're getting the ship nice and hammered now. Getting lots of people that are repairing the ship some nice skills. And what I'm going to do at this point, since the mobs are no longer giving me a lot of skill gains, what I'm going to do is what's called drown them. That just means I'm going to drive them really close to the space station and let the space station has supposedly some guns on there, although there's really no graphic for it or anything. But once these mobs get close enough to the space station, they'll start exploding. You want to make sure to really even travel past the space station a little bit. What'll happen is a lot of times the mobs, if you just kind of get to the edge of the circle, the mobs will just sort of disperse and head back. And that's no good. You want them to actually die and have them repopulate so you can get mobs with fresh skills in them. Let's slow down one more time, let these guys catch up and see just how much damage we can take. And then we'll let you guys go, huh? Come on. Oh yeah. As you can see, we're taking a pretty good amount of damage here. It's really not very much, actually. But again, you lose one of these sections and no more ship. What happens after the ship explodes? Nothing. It'll appear at the space station, and it'll just have all these at 0. Everybody that dies will reappear at the space station, and you all just kind of hop on there. Oop. Now you can see I'm getting really low. I'm going to have to speed up and outrun these guys so they stop shooting at me. They're now outpacing the abilities of the people that are repairing the ship. There's a lot of mobs there, you know. That's one thing we do on Mumble Chat is, you know, if one section's kind of dying, we'll wake somebody up, or, you know, maybe somebody logs off, we got to move somebody around. And we got a good crew on there. We got some of your Atlas Haven radio DJs will come on. So if you like voice chat and that sort of thing interests you, we do have a really nice community there on our Mumble server. Unless, of course, you're a fucking lunatic, and then we don't want you there. So, won't name any names, but yeah. No loonies. I suppose I should show this. You can see the red PvP button here in the left-hand corner. Once that turns orange, we'll know that we're close enough, and it'll let you know that you're docked. Ooh, propulsion, what's going on down there? There's a little bit of technique to flying the ship. If you're getting attacked by pirates, one of the things is you'll want to try and roll a lot. As they're attacking certain parts of the ship, pirates in this game have the ability to focus on just one area, one of these bars. So you want to try and, obviously you're not very maneuverable, but if you can try and sort of rotate the ship in a different direction, that'll help a little bit sometimes. Depends on who you're dealing with. A lot of the PvPers in the game are really, really good, so it doesn't matter. But if you're traveling and you got loot, even if the ship gets blown up, you're logged off, you're safe. Alright, I'm just going to try and get to the point where these mobs will blow up, and I'll call the video good at that point. Make sure these guys catch up here. Yeah, again, I know it's not the most exciting vid, but, you know, it's definitely going to be some good information. This is a good thing to do. It's like sweating. It's boring, but, you know, you got to do it. When you first get into the game, if you're sweating, what's going to happen is you'll build up evade skills. You'll actually build up sweat that can be sold. Let me make sure these mobs stick on me. I don't want them going back to the training grounds here. I'm going to back up real quick. I might do a space hunting video here for you. Show you how to hunt these guys for loot. See if there's any demand for that. If you want to see that, yeah, definitely leave me a comment on that. Could be talked into that. Alright, I don't think they're going to attack. Look at this, folks. I'm going to keep pulling these guys along and make sure they kind of die. Appreciate you watching the video. Again, www.f.o.m.a. Check it out. Another video there for y'all to watch that is a bit more interesting than this one. And I appreciate y'all watching, okay? Take care. See you on the next one.